What is up, Tonemaster Pro users? We got a massive update yet again. Fender, you guys are really killing it with putting out some really quality updates. Not a ton in quantity, but for sure gigantic. This is the second major one to have come out. There was 1.4, and I think now this is 1.6. Some major changes that are, in my opinion, for the better, for the more professional gigging musician. A lot of cool stuff here. Better ways to dial in presets, and a ton of new effects for you to choose from. There's plenty of other videos out there that are outlining this update. You could check out Doug B. He's got a whole rundown of every little thing that's added, including a run through of all of the new presets that the people at Fender put together for you to try out some of these new effects. Me personally, I'm not a huge effect person, but if you take a look here on the website, we got a ton of new effects. You got, 4 new amps, 2 bass amps, bunch of cabinets, and all of these effects were added. A lot of really cool stuff. Definitely for you people that were saying that Tonemaster Pro's light on effects, this is definitely a great update for you. There's a lot of cool stuff, delays, reverbs, choruses, vibratos, doublers. There's a lot of pitch stuff. I wish that I did more pitch stuff, guys. I know people love that stuff, and a lot of people are big on pitch stuff. It's just not my thing, unfortunately. And I try to stick to my thing. I try to not do things that I'm not actually using professionally here. So this is where I'm most excited and the stuff that I really want to focus on. This is a big feature here, scene change behavior. When you're making your scenes, or when you have your scenes set up and you decide to change a couple of pedals on it, do you want it to stay that way, or do you want it to revert back? So if you're somebody who's building scenes, where you're making scenes and you're kind of turning things on and off, trying things out, making your scenes and setting up your gig preset, whatever it may be, then you want to keep the maintain changes active, because this is going to just keep it as it is and keep your changes. So you can be tweaking and saving as you go, and that's pretty much where I would like that to be. Discard changes is when you want everything to stay as you previously saved it. So if you make any changes and then you swap back and forth to a scene, it's going to revert to the way that you saved it rather than keeping any changes you made. So how this is going to work is, say you have clean, low gain, mid gain, high gain solo for your scenes. If you have your clean setting on and you turn on a chorus pedal for a part, and you get that nice lush chorusy sound, and then from there you go to your overdrive sound. When you go back to the clean scene, your chorus pedal will have turned off. So that's more for the hybrid setup, where if you have half scenes, half stomps, which is a new layout too that we have, where we can see scenes over stomps. Another useful thing there, being able to have scenes and stomps. I mean, I don't think that was ever not visible, but just another addition that they had here was different layouts and different views. So if you want to keep everything as it was, that's where you go. This one is probably my favorite to be. This is my second favorite. The wraparound signal path. I freaking hate that. I hated the scroll view personally. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I feel like I was very, very annoyed by the scroll view on this. I hate having to scroll over and do all that, like go to the right and not be able to see all of my effects. So now we have wraparound view, where you can actually see top and bottom rows of one signal chain. This is by far my favorite. This is something that I talked about from day one of Tonemaster Pro's existence, since I got it at least, is the ability to have dual mics on single cabs. And now we also have a dual cab. So previously you had to use the split signal path, which was, I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's fine. But if you're somebody who's new to modeling and new to this whole thing, having to change the signal path was a little bit cumbersome and a little bit time consuming and maybe a little confusing. So the fact that they now allow you to add dual cabs and add dual mics, and you can do dual mics on dual cabs. So you can actually do these the way pretty much every professional studio does them, by blending two sounds of a microphone. That's how I do it in all the other modelers. That's how I try to do it if I'm ever miking up a speaker in-house here. And that's kind of the industry standard for how you mic up a guitar cabinet in a real studio. So I'm really excited about that. We're going to talk about that when we get to the preset. Added a save button to the on-screen keyboard. That's very helpful for me because if you've seen my previous videos, I built an entire gigging preset and never hit save. And then before I went to upload it, literally live on camera, I accidentally moved off the preset and didn't save it, so that was a total bonehead move on my part. Then you got some tuner stuff. Again, this is the new foot switch layouts for songs. So you can do 6 presets, 3/3. That's interesting stuff there. All different things here, and then fixes, yada yada yada. Let's get to some goodies here. So this is a preset that I just started. I didn't do a ton to it. This is the new 57 Tweed Deluxe, and I'm using my 68 Telly. This is a bridge pickup, tone rolled off just slightly. Might even roll it off a little bit more in a band context. So one thing here, let's look at the amp settings here. You'll notice I have amp level set to 20. The way that I set up my TMP is how I do all of my modelers, which is I bypass the big volume knob and I max out the output so that I'm not over processing my direct guitar signal. I don't know if there's any validity to that. It's just how I do it on all of the other units. So ToneMaster Pro is going to be no different, where in my outputs, my fader is maxed out for output 1, which is my XLR going direct in. So you'll notice my amp level down at 20% for these settings here on the Tweed. And if you look at my input, this is a perfect level. You know, a sound man might actually tell me to turn that down. So back to the amp settings. I'm going to go over to the cabinet section. Now you see here we have a pink and a blue for mic 1 and mic 2. This is what I'm really excited about because you have a choice between 2 mics. So here I have my SM57, which I find if you're struggling with ToneMaster Pro and getting a really good sound, I back it up to 3 inches. Typically, I don't do that. I mean, I guess not on any of the other modelers, and I don't do that in real life. Usually 2 inches or even less. With a 57 in particular, it's usually a little bit brighter. But on the cap edge, the more you back it up, the clearer it gets. So you just heard, I feel like I had a really good sound just now. But if I go right on top of it like this, it gets super, super dark. And backing it up to 3 inches just, I feel like, takes a blanket off of it. And that's awesome for me. And you'll see here I have a blend. So if I go 100%, this is just mic 1, which is the 57. Which on its own can be thin. And then this is the Royer 121 on its own, which is the kind of soft, pillowy low end that you want when you're blending these two together. That's why they make such a great pair. So blending them together, mostly 57 with a little bit of Royer. And now with these settings, I can even roll the volume down a touch. And I get my pristine clean just by rolling the volume back. And then dial it up to crunch. Get everything you need right there from just the amp sounds. Okay, let's move on. This is the small plate reverb. This is new with the update. That's what you've been hearing already. I got the mix a little bit high because in isolation alone, it's just nice to have that. Yeah, it's a nice little plate reverb. Here's without it. Life's always better with a little bit of reverb. Other things, I tried to add all new stuff to this. I'm going to swap that order. Forgot about that. Let's go over to the front end, and this is the Ranger booster, whatever they're calling it. It's a treble booster, which will give me a more front end distortion. Didn't stick to landing there, but that just drives into the front end of your amp. Really cool. This is the Comic Sans drive, which looks like a OCD. I always like to keep a low drive on that. Be a little bright, a little noisy. Let's try it with the low pass setting. Could be good and useful. Let's turn that off. I'm going to jump to the Aurora delay because this is just really cool. I think this is the Keeley pedal, right? If I'm not mistaken. Put that up to the Aurora setting. Turn the tone all the way down. some sketchy notes in there, but that's okay. Next up that I wanted to try out is the analog stereo chorus. I like that combination together. Let's turn that off. Go with the vibrato. Let's also turn that up. Vibrato is a weird effect, but when you know how to use it right, it's cool. I like that really low rate sound. Oh, my volume pot is scratching on me. I like a higher depth and lower rate for this. So I try to set it up to where if I play a chord like this, instead I could just go. I think it's a nicer sound that way. So mixed in with a little reverb. It's irritating that I have a scratchy volume pot right now, but I think you get the picture. Oh, here, actually, slow attack. This is a new one. That, I believe, is going to actually give me a volume swell. Perfect for exactly what I was just talking about. Because my volume pot is scratchy, let's try slow attack. Try this without the vibrato. How about that? Neck pickup, maybe? Let's see. Okay, definitely not up there. Just for fun, and I'm just going to add. This is for my own enjoyment now because I want to see this. Of course, these are all on, making everything noisy. Okay, so there it is. Wow, look how exciting this is that you can do this. Can I just move this down there? No, I can't. Yeah, there we go. That is what I've been wanting to do for the longest time. Now I can actually see all of my effects blocks and not have to scroll. That makes me very happy. All right, so I will revert this back to the way I had it, and I will put this up on the cloud. You can see it as I'll make it a SS 1.6 preset. You can get it, download it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I guess that's it. Let me know what you think of the update if you made it this far in the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.